Yo, book nerds! I am wearing a shirt that I got for Christmas. It says, "Just a girl that loves books." My aunt made it for me. I love it. Anyway, this video today is going to be a little bit different than my other videos. If you've seen my bio on my YouTube or on my Facebook page, it says that I am a writer, and I have been published, but I've only had small pieces published so far. I don't have a novel published or anything yet. I would love to have that happen someday. But today I want to talk about an article that I had published in 2016. This was the first time I ever got published, so if you go read it, please be gentle. I was new. But anyway, I want to talk about the article because I feel like it could help a lot of kids right now. So the article that I got published was called "How I'm Getting Through College Without Debt, Not Even a Penny." I did not pick that name. I had it called something else, but my editor changed it and I just went with it because I was new and I didn't negotiate very hard. But anyway, it got published on moneypantry.com. So go check it out, and go check out Money Pantry because they have a lot of money saving articles and financial articles, and it's just a great site. But right now is that time of year where high school kids are thinking about college because they'll be graduating soon, and it is never too late to start saving for college. And so I just want to help as many people as I can pay for school because school is so expensive. And I did graduate college without any loans, and I graduated from Bemidji State University, and I graduated in 3 years. I published this when I was like halfway through college, so at the time that I wrote this, I hadn't fully paid for college because I was still in college, but up to that point I had paid for college without any loans, and then I did go on to finish college without any loans. And so in this article I talk about how you can take AP or concurrent classes in high school, which can help you to not have so many credits to take in college, which saves you money, which is pretty much the whole reason why I was able to graduate a year early, which again saves so much money by not having an entire year of tuition, housing, and books to pay for. I also talk about how I had a job and I worked. I did not work while I was in school because I took a full credit load at school, so I was constantly studying when school was on. But when school was off, I was working full-time. I actually had 2 jobs at one time. But I busted my butt to make money. And then I also talk about scholarships and how to apply for them, where to look for them, how to get scholarships through your school, and how to get scholarships through other places. And the last thing I talk about in the article is getting assistance from your parents. And I get a lot of heat for that part of the article because a lot of people are like, well, that's not okay to get help from your parents. And I disagree because let me tell you right now, my parents did not pay for my school. I paid for my school, but my parents helped me in other ways that it made it so much easier for me to pay for school. My parents paid for my phone, they paid for my car, they paid for my groceries, and they paid for my books. And so I still had to pay for my housing and tuition, but oh my gosh, having those things taken care of for me was so generous on their part. And if you have parents that are willing to help you, take advantage. And if you don't have parents that are willing to help you, I'm sorry, but don't make people feel bad if they can get help. Because college is expensive, and if your parents are willing to help you, that's okay. And I don't, in my article, I do not tell parents to just fork over cash. It is a deal. It is a transaction. You are investing in your child's future, so make a deal with them. My parents had stipulations. I had to get certain grades. I had to do certain things for them to help me. I didn't just get money. And so if I didn't keep up my end of the deal, they weren't going to pay for stuff because, as my dad said, I don't fund stupid. So, yeah, so parents, do not fund stupid if your kids aren't going to be actually studying and getting good grades or doing whatever you want them to do to get your help. You can set standards, you can set rules, and if they don't follow through, then you don't have to follow through. And so that one I get so much heat over for that part of the article, but I think it's still important, and it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to receive help if it's available to you. I talk way more in depth in the article, so go check it out. But there's more that I learned after I wrote this article and published it during my second half of time in college that wasn't in the article that I kind of want to go over quickly here to help. So again, go to moneypantry.com and check out their other articles because they have tons and tons of articles on saving money, on financial tips and advice and all that kind of stuff. It's a great website. So don't just check out my article, but check out other articles on their site. The other huge thing that I didn't talk about in my article is the FAFSA, which is the financial aid. That is how you get loans for college. And it is so important to apply every year, even if you're not going to take the loans that you get. And the reason you got to apply is because you can also get grants. And I did not know that the earlier you apply, the more grants that are available to you. So my first 2 years I applied and I didn't get any grants. And so that's why I didn't include anything about FAFSA in my article. But the third year when I applied, I did get a grant. I got an early bird grant. I didn't know such a thing existed. There's a real name for it, but I forget what it's called, but I'm just calling it early bird grant because you only got it if you applied super early. And I did, and I got it, and it was great, and I wish somebody would have told me that beforehand. So apply every year for the FAFSA. You do not need to take the loans, but then they're there if you do need them. And if you get a grant, hey, it's free money. So apply every year and apply as early as you possibly can. And when you're filling out the FAFSA, you're going to be confused. I always felt like I was filling it out wrong. They make you feel dumb filling it out. They should have an easier way to do it, but they don't. But fill it out every single year. I can't say that enough. The other huge thing that I didn't go into in my article was books. My parents did pay for my books. My mom did. So that is a huge thing because books are so expensive. But my mom had a stipulation on my books. She did not want to pay for the full price from the books from the school's bookstore because they're really expensive when you buy them from the school bookstore. Almost every single time it's going to be more expensive to buy from your school's bookstore. So my mom wanted me to find cheaper books and then she'd pay for them. So there are so many different ways you can get cheaper books. Sometimes you can borrow books from a library. If it's like a novel, you can just borrow them. Or you can find cheaper editions on Amazon and order them, or even rent them. You can rent from Amazon. A lot of school bookstores do rent out books, so you can do that too. I even know people that would borrow their books. Like you had a friend that just had the class you're about to have and they're going into one that you just had, so you swap. And that works out great. And when you're done with your books, if you know you're never going to use that again, because say it was a general class and say you're like me and you're an English major and you just finished a psych class and you're never going to need that psychology book again, sell it back. You can sell them back to your bookstore or on Amazon or whatever through eBay and make some money back that way. Books are just like a huge, huge expense for college. So if you can find cheaper ways to get them, that is huge. And honestly, like I would find them on Amazon and I would find used ones that weren't very in great condition. But as long as I could read them, it worked. I would get books that were pretty beat up. Some had watermarks, some were highlighted and written all over. But you know what? I could still read them, so they worked for the class. Some of my other classes, some of my English classes, I wanted nicer books because I knew I'd keep those because that was my major and my passion. So I did buy nicer copies for those classes, but for my general classes, I really did not care. So I bought the cheapest books that I could find. And yeah, they were sometimes in really rough shape, but if you can read them, you're still getting the same information as if it were a brand new book from the school bookstore. Besides just working a job too, I also did other little things on the side to make money. There are websites that you can get paid to take surveys on. The two that I use is surveysavvy.com and inboxdollars.com. I don't use inbox dollars as much anymore now that I'm out of college, but I still use surveysavvy all the time. And they send you little surveys and you can make a few bucks And it's nice to do like when you're bored and you're just like binge watching TV, take a survey when you're doing it, because why not? Make some money. There are also apps that you can download on your phone that you can earn cash back on to help make you a little more money. The two that I use are Ibotta and Fetch Rewards. Basically, you go shopping, you take a picture of your receipt with those apps, and they give you cash back. Ibotta is a little bit more complicated. You have to find the reward, select it, then take your picture, and then you get cash back for it. You have to wait till you've earned $20 to cash out, but it is cash. That's what's nice about Ibotta, is it's actual cash. Fetch Rewards is a little easier to use, but you don't get actual cash back. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to search anything like you do with Ibotta. You literally just take a picture of your receipt and it will find rewards for you, and then you earn points, and then you can redeem those points for gift cards. So I mean, gift cards are pretty much cash, so it's still saving you money, and it's still a great resource to use, and it literally costs you nothing. You get money in return. So I know this was all very rushed and there's a lot of information I just went through, but go check out my article and use that in connection with the second part of this video with the other things that I talked about. And I really want to help people try and save some money and go to college. And college is awesome. I loved college, and I am so glad that I don't have any student loans, because it just sets you up better for the future. You can do more when you're done with school. You don't have to pay back student loans. You can use your money for something else, like if you want to go on a trip, if you want to get your own house or a new car or whatever. You don't have your money tied up in student loans. It's great. Even if you can only reduce the amount of loans that you have, that's still awesome. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to implement some of these things so that you can reduce, at the very minimum, reduce the amount of loans that you need. And a lot of these tips actually carry over and don't just apply to saving for college. I still use some of these. I still use Fetch Rewards and Ibotta and Survey Savvy to make money, to help me. And you can use these to save up for whatever you want to do. If you do want to go on a trip, if you do want to buy a house someday or a car and not have to have a loan, you can use these tips to help you save. That's really what it's all about, is saving money, not just for college. But that's what the article was originally written for, was saving for college. And some of the things like the books and stuff are obviously geared towards college. Taking college classes in high school, obviously geared for saving for college. But take what you can from it, and if it helps you, great. If you don't like my article, that's fine. I don't care. I've already heard people tell me that they love it and other people tell me that they hate it, so that's what you get when you publish something. But go check it out, and I hope that it helps you. So thanks for listening to me, and I hope you guys are having a good week. I will be back next week. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And go check out my Facebook too. I will link that as well. I have occasionally given talks on this in person. I have done a couple lectures on this. So if you like my Facebook page, if you're in the area that I'm at, and I do decide to give a lecture, the information goes up on there. So like my Facebook page. So thanks for listening to me this week. I know it was very different than usual, but I will see you guys next week. Thanks for talking books with me.